Welcome back to the Hardline. We spoke about Facebook and this whole simus that's going on right now with regard to Facebook and whether or not they're actually throttling down what's happening with conservative values, conservative news. Mark Zuckerberg is meeting with some conservatives today, and quite frankly, a lot of people think that this is nothing more than a snow job. Let's get to that right now because we asked your comments. 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-NEWSMAX. CB from Waterford, Michigan. You're joining us first up here on the Hardline. CB, thanks for joining us. What do you got?
Sure. I think it's just all for show, what he's doing. And like I was telling when I first called in there, majority of young adults, college students, that's where they do get their news. That's where they look at.
Don't you think they ought to get their news from someplace else as well, other than Facebook? Don't you think that's pretty lazy?
Right. But they do. They won't sit and watch, a news show like you and some of the more conservative programs on cable. Well,
let me ask you this, CB. Do you have a Facebook account?
No.
Okay. Why not? Oh, my God. What are you doing? You're not part of society here, CB. Why don't you have a Facebook account?
And I want to stay that way. I hate arguing with my nephews to get their nose out of their telephones, You can't even have a conversation with them. And so that's why I know that's where they get all their information.
Yeah, so you can't really have a conversation on Facebook.
Or something, and that's where they're getting it from.
Screaming back and forth. Truth. So all we got to do is call and talk about it here. CB, thanks a lot for joining us. We appreciate your time. 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-NEWSMAX. Karen from Lakeview, Oregon. Karen, you got a 22 and a 24-year-old kid. They get their news from Facebook. Why?
They've lived on their own since 18 years old. They do not have cable, satellite, or TV antenna. What they do is they have the internet and they have Netflix. So if they want to watch a sitcom or whatever shows they want to watch on TV,
wait a minute. If they have the internet, they have. Wait a minute. Hang on a second, because I want to dig into this. If they have the internet, that means they have the ability to watch multitudes of news shows. Our show. They can look at any of the websites that actually have legitimate news instead of Facebook, that is not a news site. Why don't you push them to do it?
Well, a lot of times, for whatever reason, the newer generation is not doing that. I mean, and if somebody's not doing it, you basically can't force somebody because we're not a communist nation yet.
Well, not yet, of course. Bernie is kind of hoping, but that's another story altogether.
Yes. And also, I want to remind voters that Google set up a whole system for Obama back when he was running for presidency in 2008, where the Democrats could watch the voters vote in real time.
Well, we do get all that, but would you rather your kids, I got to go, but would you rather your kids get their news from a real legitimate source instead of getting it from Facebook?
Yes, I would, but like I said, when it comes to kids, they pick and choose, and a lot of times it's all about what's trendy. Remember back in the day when we had culottes, and now they call them gauchos.
Culottes? Oh, you're way beyond my time. I mean, culottes, that was maybe my mom's time if you're going there.
They were gauchos, you know what I mean?
No, gauchos, no, please. Next we're going to get into really bad earth shoes, and that's going to be over from there. Karen, get your kids to watch the news. We appreciate your call. Thanks a lot for joining us. Get your kids involved, damn it. That's what we're here for as parents, okay? Let's move on. As we are at this time in our history locked in constant debate about the duplicitous and dangerous manner of our own government, the people we have put in power over and over again, and we are for some reason shocked when they lift their figurative leg on us in doing what makes them happy instead of those who put them there. Let's get into this issue here. As the proud son of a military veteran, I have watched over the years as my dad and others have struggled to get what is their due. Top of the line, no argument, no excuses, no bovine excrement, medical care they were promised. And what far too often falls into the loathsome black hole of neglect, red tape, and more often than not, abominable scams led by the most detestable kind of criminals, those who make a buck from the injuries and death suffered by true American heroes.
Trump's going to keep you busy when he's the commander-in-chief. You're going to have to repaint all the planes with Trump in big gold letters. You're going to be busy.
You're going to be busy because we need to talk about this issue right now. Your phone calls on this at 1-877-NEWSMAX are next. So let's speak about this issue and more with the retired Navy SEAL and author of the new book, Enemies, Foreign and Domestic, a SEAL's Story. Let's welcome Carl Higbie back to the Hardline. Carl, thanks for joining us. I know we got to talk about a lot of things here, short time, but I want to get to this because my anger starts today with the news report about the National Vietnam Veterans Foundation. $29 million in donations from Americans between 2010 and 2014. Now they find out the group Charity Navigator gives them a 0 out of 4 stars for those 4 years. Less than 2% of the actual money is getting to real veterans and veterans' charitable causes. Carl, why the hell is not our government and the people in charge going after this instead of wasting their time having hearings about Facebook?
Well, Ed, first off, thanks for having me on. Sorry I couldn't be on. We had some technical glitches. I even did my hair for you. But
we'll get it next time, promise.
Exactly. When this comes down to this veteran thing, veteran causes are actually the most abused causes out there of anything. They're used for employment farms. They're used to circumvent some way to just pad people's pockets and the reason being is because the American public is so supportive of our veteran network and our veteran causes that they're willing to give money in large checks to any organization that says they support veterans, regardless of what they do.
No, we're a good people. I mean, let's put it this way, Carl. Americans are good. They want to help the veterans here. But when you hear about this guy, Thomas Birch, J. Thomas Birch, CEO and founder of this foundation, he's a veteran. He's a federal employee working as an attorney for the Department of Veteran Affairs, and he's ripping people off like this, 2% of the money going to veterans? Seriously, though, Carl, let's cut through it here. Why are we not spending more time going after these crooks?
Well, that's a good question. Here's the first problem. He works for the VA. This is the culture of the people of the VA right now. There are some good men and women there, but there are a large number of people that are complete turds that are willing to rip off the American public for this crap. Second, he's an attorney, okay? An attorney for the government spells disaster. This guy is a complete disaster PR thing, not only for the VA, but also for veterans charities going nationwide. It is really a travesty because I cannot understand how in the world this guy has not been fired or prosecuted right now.
Then whose fault is it that he hasn't been fired? Look, I know this is a charity, but he still works for the government. I know we're going to come back and say that it's Obama's fault, but it's got to be more than that. Come on. There's got to be, we got congressmen, congresswomen sitting there. Nobody pays attention. It's almost as if they want to wait for the veterans to die and then do something so they don't have to deal with the bodies.
Well, it goes to the culture of the VA. Look, there's no accountability whatsoever in the VA. And we can't fire anybody because it's almost impossible. So, Ed, there is such a distinct problem within the military, the bureaucratic wheels that run the VA. This is the problem. This is the tip of the spear of the problem. Wait till this is going to go deeper, and there's going to be more organizations that come out. Thank God for these charity watchers who do stuff like this because they're the ones who are stopping people from donating parts of their paycheck that they work hard for to junk like this.
How about let's just go ahead and look the American people in the eye. I'll do it physically. You can do it via a picture. And we can tell people that in charities such as the National Vietnam Veterans Foundation, if you give money to them, you're being had, you're being hoodwinked. And not only that, we are dealing with people who run these corporations, these charitable corporations. And at the end of the day, they have blood on their hands because we have veterans who are going for help, for services. They're not getting them. They're dying a lot faster than they should because these people don't care if they live or die. Can we just say that straight out?
Absolutely. I'm 100% behind that.
So then, where do we go from here as people who want to give, Carl? And we got to have you back on because time got a little short away from us here. I'm sorry, but I'm very big on this. This is something that just grinds me constantly when I hear it.
Yeah.
Other than checking out what they do, what do we do?
Real quick, folks, there's charities out there like Heartbeat for Warriors. I'm on the advisory board to it. 92% of the money raised of last year went directly to veterans plans. That did not go to payroll. It was not an employment farm. Heartbeatforwarriors.com. They are a great charity. 92% goes to the veterans.
92%. And in this case, with this group, less than 2% of the money they raised goes to the veterans. So we have to tell people, Carl, I hate to do this, but it's a matter of telling people you got to do your homework. You got to check these people out because these scammers are out there every single day. And a lot of them are basically sitting on Facebook, Twitter, social media, and a lot of the other places. They are basically asking people to give. And we got to have you back on because I'm all out of time. I know we got to talk about a million things here. Let's get you back on next week because I know we have to talk about the military, the size of the military, Donald Trump and the military, a whole lot of things we needed to talk about. I want to remind everybody once again, the book is Enemies, Foreign and Domestic, A SEAL's Story. This is a guy who put his life on the line with his people, was down in the dirt, and was basically in there for America. It's an excellent book. Catch up with it. Carl, sorry that we got off on a tangent here, but I think it was worth it because we got to look people in the eye and do this. I appreciate your time. We're going to catch up with you again real soon, okay?
100%.
And by the way, next time, make sure you do your hair again, because if you did it this time and we didn't get to show it, I mean, come on, brother. Let's show it and make sure that everybody knows you're getting prepared, okay?
Certainly will.
All right, Carl, thanks a lot for joining us. That was a minor thing that we wanted to talk about here, but it's something that people need to get exceptionally, stunningly angry about. The charity, again, is the National Vietnam Veterans Foundation. More than $29 million in donations in a 4-year period, but according to Charity Navigator, less than 2% of the money went to actual veterans and veterans charitable causes in those 4 years. Look before you give money. The Hardline continues.